Die Atmosphäre am Silver Ridge Regional Airport an diesem Morgen war ruhig, beinahe friedlich. Die Morgendämmerung war Momente zuvor angebrochen und tauchte das Rollfeld in sanftes goldenes Licht. Der Geschäftsjetflug SR-217 erhielt die Startfreigabe. Im Cockpit sicherte Kapitän Mark Reynolds seinen Griff an den Flugsteuerungen, als die Triebwerke anliefen. V1, Rotate, verkündete er gefasst. Das Flugzeug verließ den Boden ohne Zwischenfall. Dann schlug die Katastrophe zu. Ohne Vorwarnung wurde Kapitän Reynolds völlig bewegungslos. Sein Griff löste sich vollständig. Sein Kopf fiel nach vorne, als hätte er mitten im Befehl das Bewusstsein verloren. »Kapitän«, rief Co-Pilot Jason Miller. Es kam keine Antwort. Das Flugzeug stieg weiter auf, doch Jason spürte, wie die Steuerung instabil wurde. Angst umklammerte seine Brust. Er versuchte, den Kapitän kräftiger zu wecken. »Mark, antworten Sie mir!« Nichts geschah. Jason blickte nach unten und erkannte die Wahrheit. Das subtile Zittern hatte aufgehört. Der Kapitän hatte aufgehört zu atmen. Terror überschwemmte Jasons Verstand, doch seine Ausbildung trieb ihn voran. Er übernahm das Kommando und stabilisierte das Flugzeug, während Warnsignale leise im Cockpit zu ertönen begannen. Seine Handflächen waren feucht vor Schweiß. Er hatte beträchtliche Flugstunden angesammelt, aber niemals als alleiniger Pilot. Niemals während einer Krise dieses Ausmaßes. Er aktivierte das Funkgerät. »Mayday! Mayday! Silver Ridge Tower! Hier Flug SR-217. Kapitän ist bewusstlos. Wiederhole, Pilot ist handlungsunfähig.« Der Tower antwortete ohne Verzögerung. Dringlichkeit war im Ton des Fluglotsen offensichtlich. »SR-217, halten Sie Ihren aktuellen Kurs. Rettungsteams sind bereit.« Jason kämpfte darum, die Fassung zu bewahren. Das Flugzeug blieb gegenwärtig stabil, doch sein Fähigkeitsniveau erwies sich als unzureichend für die Bewältigung eines vollständigen Notabstiegs unter solchem Stress. Er verstand diese Realität, und die Treibstoffladung war beträchtlich. Die atmosphärischen Bedingungen verschlechterten sich rapide. In der Passagierkabine bemerkten die Reisenden, dass etwas nicht stimmte. Der stetige Aufstieg fühlte sich unregelmäßig an. Eine Frau umklammerte ihren Sitz. Ein Geschäftsreisender zog seine Audioausrüstung ab und blickte besorgt. Und auf Sitz 12a saß Emily Carter, ein 11-jähriges Kind mit braunem Haar, das in einem lockeren Pferdeschwanz befestigt war. Sie reiste unbegleitet und hielt fest an einer kompakten Tasche und einem verwitterten Lederarmband. Das Armband trug ein eingraviertes Flügeldesign. Emily erkannte sofort die abnormale Empfindung. Der Winkel schien falsch. Sie nahm es körperlich wahr, genauso wie sie es in Flugsimulatoren erlebte, wenn Fehler auftraten. Sie schloss ihr elektronisches Gerät. Kurz darauf aktivierte sich das Lautsprechersystem. »Hier spricht der Co-Pilot«, erklärte Jason, Anspannung deutlich in seiner Stimme. »Sollte irgendjemand an Bord irgendwelche Luftfahrtkenntnisse besitzen, bitte melden Sie sich sofort im Cockpit.« Die Kabine wurde vollkommen still. Reisende tauschten unsichere Blicke. Niemand reagierte. Emilys Puls beschleunigte sich. Luftfahrtkenntnisse. Ihre Finger umklammerten das Armband fester. Erinnerungen überwältigten ihr Bewusstsein. Eiskalte Hangars, beleuchtete Anzeigen, die Anweisungen ihrer Mutter besonnen und unerschütterlich. »Konzentriere dich auf die Horizontlinie, M. Das Flugzeug wird seine Anforderungen kommunizieren, wenn du aufmerksam bist.« Emily erhob sich von ihrem Sitz. Ein Crewmitglied eilte auf sie zu. »Liebes, bleib sitzen, das ist nicht... Ich kann helfen«, unterbrach Emily. Die Flugbegleiterin hielt abrupt inne. »Wie bitte?« antwortete sie leise. »Ich habe Simulatorzeit für hunderte Stunden gelockt. Meine Mutter arbeitete als Testpilotin.« Die Flugbegleiterin beobachtete sie, unsicher, ob die Situation absurd oder tragisch war. Aber dann neigte sich das Flugzeug leicht und die Alarme ertönten erneut. Die Zeit war abgelaufen. Der Cockpit-Eingang öffnete sich. Jason drehte sich um, als Emily eintrat, ihre Statur gauso ausreichend, um die Bodensteuerung zu erreichen. Das Bild versetzte ihm fast einen Schock. »Das kann nicht wahr sein«, sagte er leise. Emily observed the captain, then examined the control panel. Her gaze moved rapidly, unnaturally fast for someone her age. »Airspeed?« she inquired. Jason responded hesitantly, »Approximately 200 knots. Ascent rate is excessive«, Emily stated with composure. »Decrease pitch by 2 degrees. How could you possibly—« »Please«, she interjected, »simply follow my instruction.« Jason wavered momentarily, then executed her directive. The aircraft achieved equilibrium. Quiet descended upon the cockpit. Jason regarded her as if witnessing something supernatural.
Emily positioned herself in the captain's chair. The seat overwhelmed her small frame. She adjusted forward, scarcely able to observe beyond the instrument panel. Her hands shook, but she willed them motionless. "Autopilot remains disengaged," Emily announced. "We must achieve level flight before reaching the weather system ahead." Jason acknowledged slowly, fear blending with incredulity. "Tower, we now have assistants present in the cockpit," he communicated carefully. A delay followed on the radio. "Repeat that, SR-217?" Jason looked toward Emily. She confirmed with a single nod. "A passenger is providing support with flight stabilization." The controller remained silent initially. Emily concentrated on the distant horizon. Cloud formations appeared ahead, dense, ominous, merciless. The aircraft vibrated slightly as air turbulence contacted its wing surfaces. "Trim is incorrect," Emily murmured. "That explains the heavy feeling." Jason made the correction. The aircraft responded immediately. For the first time following takeoff, Jason experienced something absent for several minutes: hope. "Who provided this training?" he asked softly. Emily swallowed hard. "My mother. She passed away 12 months ago. She used to explain that flying isn't about physical strength, it's about perception." The aircraft penetrated mild turbulence. Emily made adjustments smoothly, her small hands remaining steady and accurate. Below, radar monitors activated. Military coordination commenced quietly, yet urgently. A commercial jet carrying a deceased captain with a child piloting. The risk was impossible to dismiss. At a neighboring airbase, aviators were already mobilizing. Inside the cockpit, Emily released a slow breath. "We're capable of landing this," she declared. Jason stared forward at the storm formation and then at the child beside him. High in the atmosphere, with human lives depending on them, an 11-year-old was accomplishing what trained professionals most feared, and the world remained unaware of what they were about to witness. The jet achieved level altitude at 12,000 feet, yet the threat persisted. Dense gray clouds advanced like an impenetrable barrier. Electrical discharges flickered within them, soundless yet menacing. Jason Miller dried his brow and checked the fuel indicators again. "Fuel quantity is high," he stated quietly. "Descending under these conditions will prove difficult." Emily acknowledged, her attention unwavering from the instruments. "We'll consume some," she explained. "Execute broad turns, maintain smoothness." Air traffic control had never encountered a voice like hers, youthful, composed, precise. "SR-217, verify you have aircraft control," the controller requested. Emily leaned closer to the microphone. "Emily Carter speaking. I'm supporting the co-pilot. Aircraft is stabilized. Requesting guidance to the closest extended runway." An extended pause followed. Then the controller answered, voice controlled, yet obviously disturbed. "Understood, Emily. Runway Alpha at Falcon Field is accessible. Military assistance is being arranged." Jason looked at her. "They're trusting you." Emily offered a slight, anxious smile. "They lack alternatives." The turbulence intensified as the jet penetrated the cloud formation. Precipitation hammered the windshield. The aircraft jolted severely, losing several hundred feet. A passenger's scream echoed from behind them. "Maintain altitude," Emily instructed. "Don't resist it. Allow the wings to function." Jason complied with her guidance, relaxing his grip somewhat. The jet regained stability. Shortly after, ATC's communication resumed. "SR-217, radar detecting 2 high-speed aircraft approaching your location." Emily's heartbeat quickened. On the cockpit's right side, a shadow streaked beyond the clouds. Then another followed. 2 distinct silhouettes materialized. F-22 Raptors cutting through the tempest like precision instruments. Jason observed with amazement. They deployed Raptors. Emily watched them momentarily, then refocused. "They're here for our protection. Stay focused with me." One of the fighters tilted its wing, a wordless communication. "You have support." The captain's body remained motionless in his position. Jason looked at him, anguish crossing his expression. "He served as my instructor."
Emily carefully positioned her hand on the control panel. "He would expect you to complete the flight." The runway materialized on the navigation screen, extended, broad, and prepared, yet crosswinds were strengthening quickly. "Crosswind approaching from the west," Jason cautioned. Emily modified the approach trajectory. We'll angle into it. Landing won't be elegant, but it'll be secure." Throughout the cabin, flight attendants had attempted to reassure the passengers. Many were weeping. Some were engaged in prayer. One individual held his mobile device aloft, capturing footage, documenting history as it transpired. 10 miles remaining, ATC announced. Emergency response is positioned. Emily's hands trembled once more. This time she couldn't suppress it. "What if I make an error?" she whispered. Jason looked at her not as a fellow aviator, but as one human to another. "Then we make an error together," he responded, "but you haven't made one yet." The runway illumination penetrated the precipitation like salvation. "Landing gear deployment," Emily directed. Jason executed it. "Flaps to 30. Completed." The jet descended through the terminal cloud layer. The surface approached rapidly. "Gently, gently," Emily whispered, controlling the nose. Wind struck the left wing surface. The jet jerked. "Compensate," Jason called out. Emily reacted instinctively. Left directional control, minor thrust adjustment, steady manipulation. The landing gear contacted the runway forcefully. The jet rebounded once, then repeated. "Maintain control," Jason exclaimed. Emily gripped the controls precisely as her mother had demonstrated. The third contact held. The aircraft raced along the runway, braking systems roaring, wheels producing smoke. Then quiet. They had stopped. For a moment, nobody uttered a sound. Then the cabin erupted with weeping, shouting, and applause. Jason collapsed backward, simultaneously laughing and crying. "We accomplished it," he exhaled. Emily stared directly ahead, paralyzed until the reality finally overwhelmed her. She had successfully landed an aircraft. Beyond the aircraft, emergency response vehicles encircled the jet. Rain continued falling as the exit opened. As Emily descended the stairs, the storm abruptly cleared. Sunlight penetrated through the clouds. High overhead, the two F-22 Raptors ascended in formation, then separated, rotating their wings in a slow, intentional tribute. Every emergency responder, every military personnel, every passenger halted and looked skyward. Emily lifted her gaze, tears flowing down her cheeks. She touched the wristband on her arm. "Mother, I paid attention." The following day, her account spread globally. Television presenters labeled her a phenomenon. Aviators declared her exceptionally gifted. The Air Force issued a brief declaration: "Bravery acknowledges bravery." But that evening, in a quiet medical facility room, Emily sat in solitude. Jason tapped gently on the entrance. "People want to meet you," he mentioned. "Everyone does." Emily declined. "Not this evening." Jason smiled gently. "That's acceptable." As he prepared to depart, Emily spoke once more. "Do you believe someday I could pilot aircraft professionally?" Jason looked back at her, eyes bright. "I believe," he stated, "the sky has been anticipating you." Emily gazed through the window at the celestial bodies. For the first time following her mother's passing, she didn't feel insignificant. She felt elevated.